Hi, and welcome back to Authentically ADHD. I am your host, Carmen. I'm a late diagnosed ADHDer, an early childhood special educator, and a certified life and performance coach. I created this podcast to help as many ADHDers as I could to learn about your specific ADHD. I know that when I was late diagnosed, I was sent out the door with meds and no help. We have to do a lot of this work on our own, but if we join together in community, we can live more authentically and with more joy in our lives. Are you ready? Let's get started. Hi there, and welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Carmen, and I'm here to bring you all the newest research on all things ADHD. I created this podcast after being diagnosed late in life, after many late and wrong diagnoses. And let me be so authentic, I was and still sometimes am a rumination queen. I have to be so self-aware to not beat myself up about some of the mistakes that I make or the decisions that I choose to make. But let's back up. What are we talking about today? Have you ever found yourself lying awake at night replaying that weird thing that you blurted out at work that day, or agonizing about where you are in life versus where you want to be in life? This episode is definitely for you. Today we are talking about 3 mind gremlins that love to team up and create chaos in our ADHD brains: rumination, shame, and embarrassment. Here's the thing. We are not here to beat ourselves up for it. Nope. What we are going to do is get curious, unpack what may be going on, and find strategies that work for you. We are going to break the loop and hopefully reclaim some peace in our lives. Are you ready? Let's get started. So let's start with some understanding. What is rumination? Think of it this way. Rumination is when your brain gets stuck in this mental spin cycle, replaying the same thought, mistake, or situation over and over again, and there is no off switch. The thoughts that are related to the rumination are usually negative, and for the ADHD brain, the cycle can get extra messy because our brains naturally crave stimulations. So we hyper-focus on a thought, for example, and our brain thinks that it's trying to help us by trying to solve this quote-unquote problem, when it's never something you can actually solve. Usually, the things we ruminate about are things that are out of our control, which causes anxiety and adds to the rumination. So we dig ourselves deeper and deeper into the hole, and when you throw shame or embarrassment into the mess as well, it's literally like adding a fuel to an already out of control fire. It's never good. I do want to make sure that I make the distinction between shame and guilt. Shame shows up as that heavy feeling that says, I am bad. It's an attack on your character. Guilt is embarrassment's synonym. I feel bad because I made a mistake, not I am bad. But when both are involved, it makes rumination stronger and it makes it last longer. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine your brain is a hamster wheel. Embarrassment is the little nudge that gets the hamster going. Shame is the 10-pound weight that you put on its back, making it harder and harder to run. And rumination, well, that's the hamster refusing to stop, even when the wheel starts to squeak, even when the hamster gets exhausted. Do you relate? Don't worry. We're going to figure out how we can get that hamster to chill the F out, okay? Now that we've gone over what the 3 gremlins are, let's talk about why they show up and tend to stay much longer than they're welcome to. Here's the deal. ADHD brains are wired differently. We struggle with emotional regulation, sometimes with a side of rejection sensitivity, because our prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for executive function, it's not firing on all cylinders. And when you combine that with the ways that our brains misuse dopamine and end up chasing these thoughts that make us feel even though it's uncomfortable, we are seeking it out. Ever wonder why some ADHDers tend to pick fights? It's because it's a way to stimulate dopamine. It's unhealthy, but it's usually a learned behavior. It's like your brain is constantly following paths to solve these problems, and it keeps running into dead ends because these problems can't be solved. So it causes more guilt, shame, and embarrassment. I don't mean to laugh. It sounds silly when I say it out loud, but it feels very real in our brain. Here is a metaphor that may help. Picture your brain as a snow globe. When you ruminate, it's like shaking the snow globe so hard that the little scene inside gets buried under all the swirling chaos. The more you shake, the harder it is to think clearly. The trick is learning to set the snow globe down and let the snow settle. Now, if you're thinking, Carmen, why can't I just stop? Why am I like this? I want you to hear me when I say, you are not broken. Your brain is actually doing what it's supposed to do. It's just a bit over-enthusiastic when it's trying to help you process things. We make things harder when strong emotions are involved, and once we understand that, we can start working with our brains instead of fighting against them. Hey there. If you're looking for a game changer in managing your ADHD, let me tell you about something that's made a huge impact on my life. Focused, the adult ADHD group coaching program by Kristen Carter. This isn't just another program. It's a community. It's a roadmap. It's a lifeline for adults with ADHD who want to thrive. Inside of Focus, you'll find weekly coaching calls with Kristen packed with actionable insights, a supportive community of adults who get it. They get what it's like to live with ADHD. You'll get tools and strategies that actually work for our brains. No fluff, just real results. I've been a part of Focus for over a year, and let me tell you, it's where I've learned so much of what I share with you on Authentically ADHD. It's been a game changer for me, and I think it could be for you too. And here's the best part. If you use my link to join, we both save money. It's a win-win. So if you've been looking for the right ADHD support, this is your sign to check it out. Head to the link in my show notes to learn more and sign up. Let's thrive together with tools and support that we need to succeed. Are you also loving what we're doing on Authentically ADHD but want to take your experience to the next level? Well, I have got something for you. Introducing the Authentically ADHD Patreon, your VIP pass to the ultimate ADHD support hub. As a Patreon member, you'll unlock exclusive perks like early access to every single episode, hear it before anyone else does, a treasure trove of resources that I've made, tools, guides, and worksheets to help you thrive in everyday aspects of life, direct coaching opportunities with me designed to help you harness your ADHD powers, and the cherry on top, an incredible community of like-minded individuals who just get it. You're not alone on this journey, and together we can be unstoppable. By joining Patreon, you're not just supporting the podcast, you're fueling a movement. Together, we're breaking stigmas, embracing authenticity, and creating a world where ADHD is seen as a strength and not just a struggle. So what are you waiting for? Head over to patreon.com/authenticallyADHD and join the family today. Let's keep growing, thriving, and showing up authentically together. Hope to see you over there. Back to the show. All right. Now it's time to shift gears. Now that we know what rumination, shame, and embarrassment look like and why we tend to get stuck, Now let's talk about what we can actually do about it. Here are some strategies and tips that have worked for me, my clients, and other people who have ADHD. 1. Ground yourself in the present. Simply saying, I am safe, or stating your name and where you are or what you're doing, those things count and work as grounding practices. Or try the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method. Number 2, interrupt the loop. There are 2 ways that you can do this one. If it's a question, answer the loop. For example, what if the loop is like this? What if they all think I'm weird? What if they all think I'm weird? What if they all think I'm weird? Answer the question. What if they do all think you're weird? It's, is that a big deal or not? Sometimes that's enough to refocus and stop the loop. The other way is with compassion. Notice the ruminating thought and gently stop the navigation wheel, stop the hamster wheel, and say, you don't have to run anymore, as you let the thought pass. Thoughts are optional, friends. Thoughts are just things. They are not facts. Thoughts are things, and we can choose whether we want to keep and believe them or whether we want to let them pass on by. Number 3, talk back to your shame. When it says things to you like, you'll never be good enough, respond with the truth. Keep a list of wins and accomplishments handy and talk back to that shame and make it disappear. Number 4, channel your inner best friend. Ask yourself, if my best friend were going through this right now, what would I say to them? If my sibling, if my mom, if somebody important to you was going through this right now, what would I say to them? Remember, you deserve the same love and kindness that you'd give to that bestie. Number 5, channel your child self. I use this strategy quite a bit. I have a photo of myself as a kid, and I use that photo and ask myself, what would I say to this innocent little child who is just trying their best? I use that strategy to this day. I have it on my phone in a special folder so I can pull it up easily. And I ask myself, what would I say? What does this little girl need to hear right now? Number 6, give your brain a healthy dopamine boost. Sometimes rumination happens because our brains are bored and they're seeking dopamine in unhealthy ways. So, find dopamine in going for a walk, dancing to your favorite song, doodle, or change your environment. Anything that gets the dopamine flowing in a healthy way, and it can help interrupt that cycle. Number 7. Okay, this last one may give you the ick, but it's also something that works for me and others. Ask me how I know. Practicing self-compassion. Remember, nobody has it all figured out, no matter how much it looks like they do. We are all messy humans, and most of us are trying our best. You didn't learn to walk without falling, and no one yelled at you when you did. Try to treat all skills that you're learning in this way and see what works. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I do these things and I never feel shame and I've cured my rumination. The truth is, I do still struggle, and sometimes, but these tools, they've helped me manage when I've stayed up until 1 a.m. looping on that same question or worry over and over again. Remember, we aren't trying to cure our ADHD or the symptoms. We are trying to manage, all right? We're trying to learn how to manage and regulate ourselves and our emotions so we can live with a better quality of life, working with our brains instead of against them. So how do we keep this momentum going? Well, it's all about practice, and I know you hate this answer, but it's really all about practice, patience, and persistence, the 3 Ps. Breaking free from all these brain traps and these little brain gremlins is work, and it takes time. Remember the snow globe? Every time you pause and breathe and let the snow settle, you're retraining your brain to find the calm. And every time you choose self-compassion over self-criticism, you're retraining your brain for self-worth and self-love. Okay, so I have a challenge for you. Next time you catch yourself in the loop, try one of the strategies. If it doesn't work right away, that's okay. Try a different one, or try changing up the strategy to be individualized for you. You are so much more than your mistakes or any awkward moments. You are a dynamic, brilliant, and beautiful imperfect human. And this world is such a better place with you in it. Thank you so much for pressing play on this deep, deep topic today. It's not easy to work on yourself, so I just wanted to say that I'm proud of you for putting yourself first and doing the work that matters. As always, share and give feedback and follow, like, and subscribe. Stay authentic, my friends, and we will talk soon.